Hey everybody, this is Schmo's No Intern RB3, and you are watching the Cinescape Podcast. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Cinescape Podcast, where we're changing the landscape of movie and TV news and reviews. Good afternoon, everybody. As always, I am Sean Harrigan, along with my Padawan, Bill Tazi. Bill, how's it going today?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. We are very, very excited to talk Rogue One with you guys. We are going to get into major spoiler territory, so hopefully you guys have checked it out so far. We're going to get to that a little bit later on in the show. We're going to follow our normal format, our routine. We're going to get through some TV news, some movie news. We also have our best and worst movies of the year, some movies that we're looking forward to next year. But we also wanted to let you guys know about a brand new offer that we have for you guys. Today's show is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial by going to www.audibletrial.com/thecinescape-podcast. With over 180 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. So you get a free 30-day trial, you get a free book, you also get to help us out, fund our show, help us out to do some cool upcoming things for the brand new year.
It makes you feel good about yourself, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's giving back, you know? That's giving back.
Help us help you.
That's giving back to the arts and society, you know, and it's a good feeling. Makes you feel warm inside.
And it's not just the beer.
Right. Unless you have herpes, then it's warm and tingling. But, you know, that's what doctors are for.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
like I said, we do have some movie and TV news stories.
Some.
Mike, can you bring up our soundboard, please? We are going to start off with our TV Buzz segment, where we're going to highlight the biggest news stories, review. Well, we don't have anything to review today, and we're going to talk a little bit. This is the slow time of the year for TV. All the big shows that we've been watching are currently on their winter break here.
hiatuses.
Yeah, it's a hiatus.
It's a hiatus.
So we just have a couple of things. The first story that Bill's going to read for you guys is,
with a heavy heart here.
Another
too.
tough one here.
Let's get the grief out of the way here. So, growing pain star Alan Thicke has passed away at the age of 69 earlier this week. TMZ reports that Thicke had a heart attack while playing hockey with his son, Carter.
It seems like every show we're talking about somebody who just died.
Dude, well, and not only that, 2016 in general, it's just getting
been
wished
a
away.
horrible year.
The guy who created the Heimlich maneuver died yesterday.
Oh, Mr. Heimlich?
Yeah.
What, he choke?
Get this guy some Pepto-Bismol! Yeah, he died yesterday, age 95. You had John Glenn the week before. What was that noise?
I think that was me laughing.
It's like a wheeze or something.
On playback here.
Got like an asthmatic over here.
I'm a constant professional. Just want to make sure everything's running smoothly, guys.
This show has run anything but smoothly so far.
That's the way
we got websites crashing. We got Mac computers getting viruses and stuff.
Well, we had to triangulate the hypotenuse and the coordinates with our calculators.
Scotty, I need more warp power.
I can't do it.
I can't do it. I gotta run the APS coupler through the main directive, and we gotta get the warp power back online.
Well, speaking of Star Trek,
wow,
we do have a Star Trek Discovery story here, and this is actually the last thing that we have in TV Buzz, a short one here today. But Star Trek Discovery has cast its Klingon crew in actors Shazad Latif, who will be playing Cole, officer of a Klingon ship, actor Chris Obi, ruler of the Klingon Empire, whose name is Tukovma, and Mary Chifo, that's a cool name, Chifo, who will be playing Laurel, who is a battle deck commander.
Do you think Mary Chifo was a pot dealer at some point? Like, hey,
I think
stop
so.
trying to Chifo my weed.
Either that or she's just holding on to everything.
Yeah.
Also announced was the casting of the Walking Dead actress Sonequa Martin Green in a lead role.
Ooh.
So, Bill, we've talked a lot recently about Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
We're kind of both a little on the fence with some of the way that the news stories are playing out. Are you excited to hear some Klingon casting? Not that I don't know about you, but I don't know who any of these
Yeah, I don't know
Klingon actors are.
I don't know any of these people. But yeah, I mean the Klingons, they're a prominent alien race in the Star Trek franchise, and it's good to see that they're going to be front and center. Going with some familiar type, stuff. Whereas I feel like when the last series that was on TV, Enterprise, there was some species that you saw in the original series, but it for the most part it was very foreign, And when you have stuff like that, people just don't gravitate to it so much. So, I guess it's good that you're seeing some familiar things come back. But like you said, we haven't seen too much, gifted to us in the manner as what's to come. So, it'll be one of those things that we'll have to check it out on online only and go from there.
Well, isn't the first episode going to be on CBS? And then
the first episode, is going to air on CBS and both the CBS streaming service, but from there on, then it'll be exclusive to the streaming service. So, that could either help or hinder. Maybe that'll help, create a smaller base, focus on that fan base that they know will support and watch it. And if it happens to grow larger and get, more feedback, perhaps it will, trend back onto the terrestrial waves in that manner. But, we'll see.
Right. Do you know any Klingon jargon?
I know Qapla'.
Qapla', what's that mean?
Yeah, I forget what it means, but like it's just kind of like that like
a battle cry?
Yeah,
kind
like a hey, how are you?
Okay. Hey, how
like
are
a
you?
word like word.
All right.
I don't know. Something like
Qapla'.
that. Qapla'. But they do have their own written
Yeah,
language.
there's like a whole
There's a whole book.
dictionary of
A
it.
couple of the writers for Star Trek actually wrote a whole Klingon language, so
I always
it's out
find
there.
that kind of thing fascinating with like sci-fi, fantasy,
Yeah.
like Lord of the Rings, things like that, where these different races of humanoid, whatever they are, have their own languages that people like nerds take time out of their lives to learn verbatim how to speak Klingon or how to speak Elvish or whatever it may be. A very very nerdy.
Elvish, like hey, baby.
No, not Elvis.
Oh.
But I mean, it's pretty cool in itself that people are so involved in the things that they love that they would take the time to learn a language that isn't real.
And I mean, yeah, but I mean, the people creating it, that just shows their dedication to creating something
Absolutely,
authentic
yeah.
too.
Very, very cool stuff. So that was it for our TV Buzz segment. Not segment. I don't know what that is.
TV buzzed.
Yeah, when we come back from the new year, this is going to be our last show of 2016.
We're gonna go on break for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
right?
we're gonna
And
take a
then
2-week
we'll be back on
hiatus.
Yeah, we're gonna go on our hiatus.
Yeah, we're gonna enjoy our family holiday time. So we're gonna take a 2-week break after today. Most of the shows that we usually highlight will be back middle of January. So in the next couple weeks, we should have a plethora of news stories and topics to bring you guys when we do come back from the New Year's break. So
Let's just tell them we have nothing for them.
all right, yeah, there's
And then we'll put
TV,
together something.
TV news has sucked this week. What do you want me to tell
There's
you?
gonna be nothing.
See, usually
we'll give 'em
we get
something.
away with this because we typically do our shows every other weekend,
Right.
and we did our last show last Sunday, so we're back to back this weekend. So our news stories topics aren't as vast as they usually are, so we have less to pick from. But the two that we had are very impactful things. you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have
Yeah.
plenty of new stuff from the new
Well,
year.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are going to be flipping the script here. And we are going to change the focus of the conversation to film. Bill, read our first story. This is a little tie-in to Rogue One, which we'll be talking about later.
Actor Ben Mendelsohn has been cast as the Sheriff of Nottingham in the upcoming Robin Hood Origins film, joining Taron Egerton, Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Dornan.
Yeah, so
Well, you want to tell me how that ties in? I'm looking
well,
for
Ben
the
Mendelsohn, as we know,
Mandelbaum!
plays Director Krennic in
Mandelbaum.
Rogue One.
Mandelbaum.
Mandelbaum. Yeah, he plays Director Krennic in Rogue One.
Ah, yeah, that's him.
He's I got my first viewing of him from the Netflix series Bloodline, which he is fantastic in.
I first saw him in what was it? What was the oh shit? What was the movie with Christian Bale when he played Moses just recently?
What
movie was that?
Is it God's of Egypt? No.
No, that was the it was a Ridley Scott movie.
No, not God's of Egypt.
Shit.
Yeah, look that up.
Yeah, well, he was like,
we're looking
I
at
don't know,
that.
he was playing like, I don't know. Continue. I'll research.
But yeah, he's gonna be playing the sheriff of Nottingham in this one. We had a couple news stories of this in the last couple weeks that they have a whole reimagining going on. It's supposed to be this huge war epic. Hopefully not like a snooze fest like the Ridley Scott Robin Hood that we had a couple years ago. This cast is intriguing for me. I mean, I love Taron Egerton. He's fantastic in Kingsman. Jamie Foxx I could really do without. I don't really care for him all that much. I mean, he has a couple.
I think he
couple
plays
good
a
roles here and
Chew.
there. God bless you. No, that's my name.
That's my name.
Jamie Dornan. He was from the 50 Shades movie, which I'll never watch.
Exodus, Gods and Kings.
That's what it is. I knew
Yeah.
there was gods in the title. But yeah, Ben Mendelsohn is a phenomenal actor.
Mandelbaum.
If you've seen Rogue One, you know just how domineering he is in that film as Director Krennic.
You like his lisp?
Yeah, because it works for him. Because he's like, if you've seen Bloodline at all, he's such like a creepy, sleazy scumbag.
Yeah.
And just to have that like little bit of flaw to him, to
Mhm.
where like you can kind of nitpick at him a little bit,
Yeah.
really works for the whole vibrato of what he brings to the table. So it is kind of cool. I do like that. Hugh Jackman actually is reported to have taken a pay cut to ensure an R rating for the upcoming Logan.
I heard
film.
that. Yeah.
I don't know how much of a pay cut you could really take,
Yeah.
but good for you. I mean,
Well, hey, that pay cut allowed them to have Johnny Cash's song as part of the as part of the intro.
I mean, it's not even his song; it's a cover.
Yeah, anytime I hear that song like playing for a movie or a TV show, I just think it's like I feel like it's that final season, like season 8,
Yeah,
and it's on FX.
things are coming to an end.
FX is playing it or something like that.
Did you
Yeah.
see like a bunch of comic book movies people have been remixing the trailers to have the black and white and the Johnny Cash song
Yeah.
and like Iron Man. They just did one for Iron Man 3, like the same kind of style.
That was all right though.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
It was all right because the movie already came out, and
Right.
and then afterwards you're like, oh yeah, like this would have
It fits.
Yeah, it fits. But I just hope that like this movie just isn't like sad and depressing, and it's just Logan like drinking all the time, like how like I feel like every X-Men movie early on kind of started out or had like that scene where like Logan just finds himself like
He's a loner.
in some like shitty
I'm a loner, daddy. A rebel.
I'm a loner daddy. He's in like some shitty Canadian bar that's like in some backwoods somewhere and
Watching a cage fight.
yeah, like Sabretooth finds him somehow or whatever. He's just boozing away. Like I don't want to see this sad man's life.
Yeah, instead of Old Man Logan, it should have been titled Sad Man Logan.
Sad man Logan. He's just riding on a merry-go-round, like bombed up and stuff.
Do that the dog voice. Boo hoo.
Oh, boo-hoo. I'm Logan. I'm the Wolverine, and I got no place to go. Maybe Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters will let me in.
So check out Hugh Jackman as Wolverine one last time. I
Hugh
believe
Jackman as a sad mutant, coming soon to a theater near
I think
you.
what's it come out in May? I think.
Yeah, I think so.
March, April, May, something like that.
Did you say Mapril?
April. Yeah, April. It's a combination of March and April.
Coming up in Mapril.
Hey, coming up, April.
You know what they're gonna have? Yeah, we're gonna have to make Mike do over here is just cut us, cut up the show with that Johnny Cash song. I hurt myself, and we're just like fumbling around like the studio and stuff.
Oh, that's yeah, Mike. We've tasked you with this. Let's see what you can do.
Yeah, you computer whiz, you.
All right, Bill. Read our next story.
Actor Patrick Wilson has been cast in the upcoming Aquaman film as the villain. Orm, a.k.a. Ocean Master, the half-brother of Aquaman. I really like Patrick Wilson.
He's really good.
He's a great actor. You've probably seen him in a lot of stuff,
The
but you never know who he is. Conjuring, Watchmen. He was in the A-Team also. So I mean, this is a good sign. I feel for the franchise as a whole for DC, considering they're having so many problems. Zack Snyder hasn't officially said it, but he's walking away from DC movies from the future. So who knows what that means for Justice League and So this is a bright moment in that.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of like a Thor kind of situation here. You got the half brother,
right,
who's also a villain. I don't know too much about Ocean Master, but this is, I guess, it's encouraging news when you get an actor like Patrick Wilson to come on and join your franchise. As he has the Conjuring franchise. He's been in a bunch of other things. So this is encouraging. We got the Aquaman news last week that they were pushing back the release date.
Yeah.
So anytime there's a positive to add to the narrative of the story here, we're always looking forward to that. So definitely a good casting choice here, and we'll look forward to seeing how he portrays Orm.
Yeah.
Not Arm, Orm.
And I'd like to just point out real quick, Bam Bam Bigelow will be wrestling Sabu next Thursday at the Armory in Northeast Philadelphia.
Really?
No, I'm looking at the poster over
Oh,
here.
okay.
I'm just
I was gonna say,
Bam Bam Bigelow.
isn't Bam Bam Bigelow dead?
I think so.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Bam Bam.
Let's have a moment of silence for Bam Bam. All right, moving on.
We're gonna stick in the DC extended universe.
Stick it
here.
in.
Suicide Squad director David Ayer and Margot Robbie, who portrayed Harley Quinn, are reuniting for a new DC movie titled Gotham City Sirens. The film will showcase female DC villains, including Harley Quinn, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy. Bill, are you at all intrigued at a prospect of a movie like this? Don't feel like you have to be PC principal here either.
If it doesn't suck, yeah. Because I think these three right here pretty much sum up the firepower of DC, and I think right now, everyone loves Harley Quinn. You throw in Catwoman and Poison Ivy, and you got this little trio of terror that could take place on the screen. So yeah, I mean, I think at this point you kind of got to pull out all stops and see what works for DC.
Did you hear that Megan Fox could potentially be playing Poison Ivy as well?
I like that.
You like that?
I like
you
that.
do?
I do.
So you want a Poison Ivy that has no gravitas or acting ability?
Yeah. Poison Ivy stinks anyway. I mean, come on, look at they picked Uma Thurman originally.
Jerry.
Uma. And I mean, come on, she had to do that whole oh, look at me, I'm Poison Ivy. I'm going to blow my little Poison Ivy dust in your face, and I'm going to make George Clooney want me. Hey, listen, Robin, she's mine. Remember that whole bullshit?
Yeah.
That sucked. She's a character that, she can go along with the flow. Like she should be a more physical character,
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, she shouldn't have to be so mental of a character where she has to do all this thwarting and planning. She should be I could see Harley Quinn being the person that orchestrates stuff like that. Poison Ivy could be, more of a henchman type, and Catwoman, she's your stealthy Black Widow type that can go in and kind of do more covert stuff and kind of play like a double agent type of character, which she does really in that DC realm. But Poison Ivy, I really see her as kind of just being that sex piece that just mainly seduces when she's not in character, and when she is, really just kind of being the the enforcer type. I don't really think she needs to have a certain gravitas to her that makes her something bigger than she really is. She's not a great character, but throw her in that trio there, and yeah, she's like the fat chick making the good looking girl better. That's all.
All right, so yeah, we'll have to see how that all plays out. You fell asleep during Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
but
we'll get to that later.
Did you ever get to finishing that movie, by the way?
No.
No, you didn't miss
No.
any. You just missed
Yeah.
Enchantress doing a little
Well, shimmy.
what's that? Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube
Wacky
man.
wavy inflatable elf.
That's what she did the whole end of the movie. She looked like a putty from Power Rangers.
I was watching Power Rangers on Netflix
Were
last
ya?
night. Yeah, I was watching season 3, and it was Rita and Lord Zed brought back the Green
Ooh.
Ranger
Oh.
to fight the White Ranger.
Oh wow.
And everybody thought, the Tommy that was the White Ranger wasn't, and he was actually the bad, evil Green Ranger. Rangers.
That whole storyline threw me for a loop growing up.
And you know what's funny is like you watch that particular like season, and you watch Lord Zed and Rita Repulsa, and they're really like a bad, like just a couple that has been married for like
yeah, they're
40
the odd couple.
They're like, I don't know why I married Rita. And then Golder's like, I don't know either, Lord Zed.
To the moon, Alice. Honey
So
murders.
it's pretty funny, like when you're watching a show.
Yeah, their banter.
Yeah. So
It kind of sucks though. I don't know how we got off on a Power Rangers tangent, but we're gonna stick with it. Like how the first season or so, like Rita was like this, like diminutive, like evil, scary chick, and then she started getting like more foofy, and then they brought on Lord Zed, and like he like scared the crap out of you as like an 8-9-year-old kid. And then like that was for like that TGIF special.
Right.
And then like when he was a show regular, like he just got really stupid, and they got stupid, and they were Goldar level stupid.
yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to see how the new Power Rangers movie comes out with Elizabeth Banks as Rita.
You know what I did notice in the old Power Rangers series is they really had an affinity for wearing flannel shirts with no sleeves.
Yeah,
You
Jason was notorious for
Oh
that
yeah,
one.
he loved it, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, read our next one, Billy.
No.
No? All right, never
A
mind.
reimaging of the
No,
Disney.
reimagining.
Oh.
I got you too.
A reimagining of the Disney classic 101 Dalmatians is in development and will focus on the villain Cruella de Vil.
Cruella de
Actress
Vil.
Emma Stone is set to portray the titular character with director Alex Timbers on board to direct. Production is set to begin early on in 2017. How do you feel about a Cruella de Vil based movie?
I mean, this is what Disney has been doing a lot recently with their live action spins on the classic animated cartoons, and especially going off in the villainous role with Maleficent and movies like that. It could be cool. It has the possibility to be an interesting movie. I don't know. I don't see Emma Stone being Cruella de Vil, looking at the animated version and then looking at, an actress like Emma Stone who's, very beautiful and young and things like that. So I'm not sure how that's going to, translate across mediums, but I'd be interested in checking it out. I probably wouldn't rush out to the theater to see it, maybe check it out on a home release. But the prospect of, these villains getting, the center stage in these Disney movies is a nice twist on things and kind of, flips them on their head to have them a little bit darker, I would say. What do you think, Bill?
Yeah, I guess, I'm on board for it. I don't really care for a 101 Dalmatians spin-off movie, though, so...
What about 102 Dalmatians?
If it was 102, that would start to pique my interest.
Like Pongo. I remember that was the dad dog's name, right?
101 Dalmatians is a tremendous movie franchise. Let me just say, they're truly blessed to have Emma Stone in the pilot seat there. She's the captain. She's in charge. She's flying the ship. It's gonna be great.
All right, thank you, President-elect Trump. We have one more movie news story.
Two more.
Actually, it's 2 in 1. Both of these.
Three.
No,
Yeah.
this is
I got
just
one
two.
more.
You got? Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Billy's got a special one. All right, so we'll go with this one first. This is a twofer here. Legendary Pictures have announced that Pacific Rim Maelstrom has changed titles to Pacific Rim Uprising, according to a press release. The hiring of 3 new executives seems to have led to the title change, and they also announced that the upcoming Godzilla film was retitled to Godzilla King of Monsters. Not King of the Monsters, King of Monsters. Bill, what do you think about these new titles for these 2 movies?
Wait, what?
Do I need to reread that?
I'm sorry, I was reading about Black China.
Black China.
Yeah.
All right.
No, but I did read about the Pacific Rim title change.
Pacific Rim Job.
Pacific Rim Job.
That first movie sucked. Hated it.
What, Pacific Rim Job?
It took me 3 separate viewings to finish it.
I never saw it.
You're not missing anything. It was
Okay.
terrible. There are so many people out there that love this movie and praise it up and down, and I just don't understand it. It was such a bore for a movie that features giant robots fighting giant monsters, a la Power Rangers.
Does this take place in the same universe?
What?
Like
Godzilla?
Pacific Rim and Godzilla and stuff?
No. But
Well,
I mean,
'cause
they,
I mean,
they
like-
probably could
Well, I
down
mean,
the
like
line.
I'm reading how much, like, a lot of these
Doesn't it
movies
sound
take-
like it's the same thing?
right?
Yeah, Pacific Rim versus Godzilla versus King Kong. Yeah,
Versus the Mummy.
they could probably all intersect at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that first Pacific Rim movie, it was awful. It was so boring, very boring. I didn't like it. What do you think about the Godzilla title here? I mean, he is the king of the monsters, but they forgot the.
The king of the monsters. I don't know. I mean, you're not going to really care until it's actually on the big screen at that point. Like, we've seen so many reincarnations of Godzilla. I just hope this one is a little bit more permanent, since we know that the Mummy, King Kong, Godzilla are now, going to share in that universe of these, of the monsters of Universal.
No.
No?
Mummy's Universal, but King Kong and
Isn't
Godzilla, no, that's legendary.
No? Is
No.
it?
So
Ah.
Mummy's gonna be
Ooh.
with with Dracula.
My mistake.
Dracula, Wolfman.
Let the Twitter activate.
Yeah. I just got a Twitter tweet. Yeah, they're bashing you on Twitter right now.
Are they?
No. No, they're not.
It's like the ending to Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
You're gonna have to go
Who
knock
are
on
these
people's
little
doors.
fucking shits?
Did you say? No, the Mummy, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula. They're their own MCU monsterverse.
I wish Ted Knight was still alive. So, like, wouldn't you love to hear like movie trailers be narrated by like, "Ooh, coming this fall, Doctor Strange, Danny."
That'd be awesome.
But in the last news that we have, this movie hasn't even come out yet, but there's so much buzz that Spider-Man: Homecoming has actually gotten a sequel release date for July 5th, 2019 already. So, how do you feel about that, Sean?
It's a no-brainer. I mean,
More like a no-boner.
no boner. Ooh.
I mean,
no. I mean,
Mike's popping rod over there already, huh?
with a franchise, any of the MCU movies in general, but especially with a Spider-Man on top of MCU, it's a no-brainer that you're gonna have a sequel. You're gonna have the third.
Finally,
part of
he's
the
not on the
trilogy.
bottom.
No, yeah,
He's not a bottom
He's
bitch.
riding top now. So this is definitely encouraging news. They obviously feel very, very good about what the new one's going to be, how well it's going to do, and how well they're going to play in the playground of the Marvelverse here moving forward with everybody else. So yeah, this is definitely a no-brainer. I'd be very, very interested to see the villains for part 2. We're getting the Vulture, the Tinkerer, Shocker in the first part. I hope they don't jump the gun and go right to Venom. That's something that they need to really take their time with, especially if they, there's been rumors going around that they would possibly want to do Carnage too. You need to take your time with Venom, introduce him, that way you can flesh out Carnage after that. Villains like Kraven would be cool. Mysterio. I want to see some villains that we have not seen in any of the 5 previous Spider-Man movies that we've gotten. Maybe the one kid who's actually in the new movie is supposed to be playing the guy who is Hobgoblin. So maybe we could see him, but it's really weird because he's like a chubby little Asian kid.
Yeah.
This is the only problem that I have with some of the casting. Just I don't mean to be like racially insensitive or anything, but just the way that some of these they're all younger kids too, which doesn't help. But I can't see, like, for instance, the guy who's playing Hobgoblin, like a pudgy Asian kid, like being the Hobgoblin later on in life. It for now it doesn't fit the mold of what I'm expecting. I could be totally wrong, and they could do a wonderful job of it down the road. But yeah, time will tell. Do you want to do our favorite movies, or do you want to do Rogue One first?
Let's do movies.
Favorite movies?
Yeah.
All right. So that is it for our Flipping the Script segment. We are going to get into some of our favorite films, our least favorite films, and like the middle of the road films that came out this year. So this morning, Bill and I separately, bless you, Mike.
God bless you, Michael.
We put together our own separate lists of some of the films that we enjoyed more than others this year. Where do you want to start? Bad or good? Or do you want to go back and forth? We'll do a bad, we'll do a good.
Yeah. Good
All
cop, bad cop.
Good cop, bad cop. All right. Read me one of your favorite films of this year, Bill.
One of my favorite films of this year.
Oh, Billy.
We haven't had any sound clips yet.
No.
I'm really dropping the ball with this one.
You
I'm just going to play a bunch right now.
Lay off me, I'm starving. Oh my God, we're burning alive.
All right, we had to get our fill here. We have a lot coming on for our Rogue One.
So you know what?
review.
Since you led with that Batman one there, I'm gonna one that's on my best list. Actually, since I rewatched it on the DVD, Batman vs Superman.
Okay. Was it the regular version or the
No,
special
it was
edition?
the special better cut.
Good call.
Yeah. So I mean that made it on my better list of movies for 2016. Obviously it didn't do so well in the theater, wasn't so well received at first, but
I mean, it did financially well,
yeah.
but not critically.
No, and I mean I fell asleep during that movie,
Well, yeah.
at first too, but after getting the chance to rewatch it on the DVD on the special edition director's cut that doesn't suck. I liked it. So
I actually had this film, the way that I categorize my films, I had best, I had okay / not bad, and I think I just did worst. So I put BVS in my okay / not bad category list here.
see that you told me to do a best and worst, and then you subdivide.
I
your,
did.
Yeah,
I get a little OCD with some of those things. And it would be the director's cut special edition, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
They did add a bunch of extra footage in there, not for the sake of just, oh, here's the scenes that we cut out and look cool. It actually did make the film more cohesive and actually make a lot more sense than the theatrical cut did. You got some more plot points and character motivations as to why things were actually happening, and it made the characters and the situations more believable. And that's really what they missed out on, keeping it that way in the theaters. Obviously it was more of a time cut than anything, but they really missed the mark there. And this film, I believe, suffered from the lack of sense that it actually wound up making. It goes in my okay / not bad category.
All right.
Give me one of your worst, Bill.
One of my worst. Alice Through the Looking Glass.
I didn't see that one.
Stinks.
Stinks. I believe it.
It's just that point where it's Johnny Depp dressing up as some fucking dumb character at this point, and it's just I feel like that the struggles of a movie like that also show in an actor like that, and he's got to find some common ground. He's got to find something where it brings him back into that element of his of his really good acting that we're we've known to see, and we haven't seen it in some time.
Right.
And we're gonna have another movie where he dresses up again in Pirates of the Caribbean.
One of my worst. I have Zoolander 2 on this
I forgot
list.
that even came out this year.
I think everybody else did too. That movie was so bad. I mean, I like the first one fine. It's not the
Even
greatest.
the first one wasn't great.
Yeah, it's not the greatest.
You just remember David Bowie was in it.
It's well, he's not in this one.
Why?
But yeah, the way that they're doing these comedy sequels.
Well, how are they doing?
Years and years after the fact, like with Dumb and Dumber 2, they're so just not funny and like overreaching what they're trying to do, and like so forced that it just really takes you out of the film. Like, what I was gonna say, Ben Stiller is
Matt Damon.
I don't have that one on the board right now, but he's just trying. You can tell he's like trying so hard to recapture what he did in the first film that it really takes you out of the movie and is really bad. So I'd Zoolander 2 on the top of my worst list.
Yo, I gotta stop for a moment. I'm scrolling down TMZ, and I don't know what the fuck this picture is. I wish Mike could get it up on the big screen.
Who is that? Hold it up to the camera. Oh man, that can't be real.
I don't know.
There's no way that can be real. Those are some bushy brows, man.
It's Celebrity Scramble. Guess who?
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say that
Kind of looks like Alec Baldwin.
I'm gonna
a
say
little bit.
Harry Hamlin.
I don't know who that is.
That's the wife of what's her name? Lisa Rinna.
Who?
It's coming up on the screen. Mike's got it.
I have no idea who these people are.
Who are these people? I'm Michael Caine, and I don't know who you are talking about.
Oh,
I'm gonna say Harry Hamlin.
you know what? I'm gonna.
Who?
I don't know. The eyes kind of look like Benicio del Toro.
But Benicio's not that gray.
Well, I just mean his eyes. They could have scrambled everything. Yeah, I have no idea.
What do you do? Do you go next?
Does it tell you the answer?
Just
Is this like the word jumble? Dermot Mulroney.
that sucked.
Boo.
You've got bushy eyebrows.
You know what? I've had enough
Should
of
we
this.
try and guess again? Let's see if we can go through and guess. You wanna?
All right, give us a couple more. Oh God.
Who's that? That's ooh.
Oh. Kate Mara, maybe?
She's got quite a widow's peak.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's frightening.
Liv Tyler, maybe? I don't know. Ooh.
Who's that?
Barbara Palvin?
Never heard of her.
Hey!
Eek!
Margot Kidder? Oh, wow. She looked better on the other one.
Now, these are supposed to be celebrities, but I
Right.
don't know who any of these people are. I was going to guess that one, actually, Seth MacFarlane. All right. I've had enough of Celebrity Scramble. Nobody can see what we're actually looking at.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get back to our list. Give me another one of your best films of
One
this
of my
year.
best. I have Deadpool.
Yes, that was actually at the top of my list.
Deadpool.
Not that it was my favorite film of the year,
No.
but that was just the first one that I wrote down.
I also have Civil War.
Also do too. That's number 2.
Yeah. The Jungle Book.
I have that on my okay/not bad.
I mean, Jon Favreau directed. There was
Yeah.
a lot of names in that movie, and yeah, it was a pleasant movie.
You know, go off and read me all of your best.
All of my best.
All
okay,
your best.
So I said
We'll
Batman vs
compare
Superman.
notes.
Life with Pets. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
It's
I
a
liked
good movie.
Zootopia though.
Did you?
Yeah, it was
Eh.
good. It was cute.
Civil War, Deadpool, Jungle Book, Doctor Strange.
Yep.
The Nice Guys,
Yes, that's on mine too.
and Sausage Party.
Oh, we differ there. I'll read off my best. I have Deadpool, Civil War. I have Pop Star. Never Stop, Never Stop.
I forgot about that. I
I
forgot about that.
I put Lights Out on there for a nice horror movie.
Okay.
I also had Nice Guys, Doctor Strange, and I put Rogue One on there as well.
One.
Read me your worst.
So for worst, I have Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
Independence Day. What was it? Resurgence.
Yeah.
Conjuring 2,
Okay.
You're gonna be surprised by this one. So I guess if I'd known we were doing like okay movies, I put Star Trek on the worst
Beyond?
list.
Yeah, I still didn't watch it yet.
I really it's a good movie visually. The story's okay and stuff like that, but it does miss some marks in some ways, and it does start to drag out a little bit. But all in all, it is a good movie to watch. But I put that on the worst list. X-Men is on there. Alice Through the Looking Glass is also on that list, and then I do have a want to see list for 2016. So movies that are out or will still be coming out, and I haven't had a chance to see yet. Do you want me to go down that list?
Sure, go ahead.
So I have The Accountant
Okay, I was
with Ben
partially
Affleck.
intrigued by that one.
It kind of has this like double life going on thing, and if it's anything like him being Batman, just kicking ass, then it should be good.
Batman as the accountant.
Batman as the accountant. I want to see Assassin's Creed
Yes, that comes out next week.
next week. Actually, the 21st.
Yeah, that's
Tuesday.
weird because it's what's today? Today's the 18th, so that comes out on Wednesday. That's a weird release.
Tuesday night, actually, is going to be the first viewing.
All right, I'm going.
Hacksaw Ridge. I want to see this. However, I feel
I've heard very, very good reviews.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I watched the Critics' Choice Awards just a week ago, and it was, the Critics' Choice Awards. You are able to gauge what the Golden Globes and what the Oscars are going to look like, because obviously the critics are the ones who get paid to do this type of work. So, it was up for a lot of nominated categories. I wasn't completely impressed with help me out here. What's his name? The lead.
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
He's going to be up for an Oscar for that.
And you know what? I mean, I guess the trailer just doesn't sell me on him as that serious type of actor, unless that's the type of soldier he was meant to play. But this movie is definitely being regarded very highly. But the trailer just doesn't jump out to me. So I'm not like going out of my way to go see it, but because of that regard that it has, I feel like I should go see it and check it out. I also have 10 Cloverfield Lane that I have not seen.
Oh, you know what? I didn't put that one on my list.
And I want to see Arrival.
I do want to see that one too. Our guest last week, Ashley V. Robinson, spoke very highly of that movie. That was definitely one that I do want to check out, and I'm probably not going to get a chance to go out and see it in the theater. Maybe over the the Christmas New Year holiday.
It is a 2-hour flick, so.
Yeah, we'll see. But if not, I'll definitely check it out on home video release.
But anybody out there listening as well, if you disagree or agree with any of the choices on our best or worst list, or if there's any movies that you have not seen this year, please make sure you hit us up on Twitter or on Facebook as well, and let us know what you're looking at. We want to know what interests you. Sean, anything else on your list that we missed?
Yeah, let me read off my worst, and then I'll give you the rest of my okay/not bad.
Okay.
So I said Zoolander 2 for worst. Suicide Squad. When I reviewed that, I think I gave like a 4 out of 10. Just terrible.
Terrible.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Absolute piece of dog shit. Hated every single second that I had. Hated it. Had to watch that. It was terrible. Warcraft. Mike, you watched this one and you liked it, right?
I've watched it 5 times now.
You watched it 5. Oh my God! What do you must really hate.
How many
yourself.
times did you masturbate to it?
I've been playing Warcraft since I think 2006. So
that movie was so
it's one
bad,
of those
though.
it's one of those things where no, but if you're okay, it's one of those things where if you dedicated your time and money and so many
And your sex life?
so many times I've dedicated the sex life to it. They really couldn't have in my perspective done a bad Warcraft movie unless they just really utterly butchered it and it was like Jim Henson's with puppets or something. You know what I mean? Like that's the only way it would have been.
I like Jim Henson puppets.
I do too, but not in the Warcraft universe. Like here comes an orc and it's a puppet popping up and down.
I think that would have been more fun.
I loved it, but also I knew the world. I knew some of the lore,
Right.
the characters. Going into it not knowing anything, I could see why people would hate it. but knowing the characters and knowing the what's going on helped a lot. So I love it.
See, and this is the best part about film or TV or any kind of art in general is
Porn?
porn too.
Okay.
Is that everything is really subjective. One person could see something one way, and the person sitting next to them can see it the completely opposite way. And nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It's all from your viewpoint and your style and your personality, and that's what makes these kinds of things fun to debate and talk about.
If you just watch absolute dog shit movies all the time, like Ninja Turtles 2,
Right.
then you're just gonna have dog shit opinions.
And you're probably a dog shit person.
I like Ninja Turtles too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Mike.
I liked it.
Toxic Mike, leave right now.
Yeah.
Leave right now.
We have just commandeered the Toxic
put
Radio
that entire
studio.
thing on auto drive, okay?
I watched it here in the studio while I was working. I said,
yeah.
"This is interesting."
No,
This is cool.
no.
Rocksteady Bebop.
No. They
Fucking
were-
Seamus was in it.
He shouldn't have been. Yeah, hey, Bebop, let's go run around and try to kick these turtles' arses. No, come on. And this is my last one on this list is one that you had on your best list. I have Sausage Party on there.
Yeah.
I couldn't even finish it.
Really?
It was not funny at all.
It was funny.
I'd see everything's subjective. I didn't think so. I thought that everything felt really forced and vulgar to where it was trying to
Now,
be.
I wasn't.
It was like vulgar to really stick it to the point of being an animated film being vulgar.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wasn't like it didn't carry my attention like the whole time, but it had funny moments. You know what I mean?
I just didn't even find myself laughing at all.
Why does this microphone foam smell? Like it smells.
I
Like
put my butthole on it earlier.
It smells like a butthole, like a faint, like a faint butthole smell.
That's all due to whoever used it before you.
I bet it was the Lethal Dose guys.
Yeah, it's probably Nick like sitting here just fucking.
We got. I'll make sure to upgrade the little windscreens
Just
that are on here.
maybe.
Yeah, we're gonna bring our own lint screens.
just put a dryer sheet in these things.
Let me finish.
You don't have to come over and like take it now. Why do you want to smell it?
Sniff it. Ooh, our viewers want to see you sniff it first.
Yeah, sniff it. What do you? You just pulled the knob right off that cabinet.
Uh-oh. Ooh, smells like misty butthole.
What scent is that, stripper?
All right, let me finish out my okay/not bad list.
Okay. Okay.
I mentioned BVS. Zootopia falls on there. Jungle Book falls on there. Conjuring 2. It was okay. Green Room. It was Anton Yelchin was in that.
Okay.
Before his passing. It was like a thriller horror type movie. It was really good. Key and Peele's Keanu. That movie was hilarious. Neighbors 2, okay. X-Men Apocalypse, just okay. Definitely disappointing, not where you would want an X-Men film to be.
Mm-hmm.
I had heard a lot of shit talking on Independence Day and finally checked it out. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but they didn't spend any time developing characters whatsoever. It was all action sets and action pieces. Mindless sci-fi action, fine. Not the strongest movie. Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, pretty funny. I mean,
Yeah, I wanted to see that.
it was okay. Bad Moms, it was surprisingly enjoyable. What's her face? Mila Kunis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And then Blair Witch.
Blair Witch.
Okay. Just okay. Not terrific, not great. Just okay. So that will round out our best, worst, and in-between list of the year. Like Bill did mention a few minutes ago, let us know what you guys thought about any of the films either on our list or the ones that we left off. What did you guys like? What did you guys not like? What did you guys not get to check out as of yet? And we are going to talk about our most anticipated films
I
of
think,
next year.
yeah, and I think we got to jump to a galaxy far, far away now
Oh, okay.
and jump into Rogue One.
Well, hold on. We're going to do our most anticipated films first. I want to save Rogue One for last because it's going to be a huge, incredible,
It's going to be huge.
spoiler-filled conversation. So, Bill,
Yeah.
did you make a list for this, or do you
For
just
most
have it off the top of your head?
anticipated?
Yeah. What are you looking forward to most next year? From January to December of 2017.
I didn't think too much. I mean, the Marvel movies definitely have me.
Obvi.
Bet. It's an ox cable. Mike.
That was an inside joke from earlier.
Yeah. Hey, you
That's
got
an aux
anything?
cable.
Sorry, I feel like we called you out over there after you were like texting
We
your
caught
mom.
him sleeping.
Texting your mom about how great the Xbox is.
I got nothing. I'm talking with DJ, who's apparently sending people
Nudes.
people from his Kick group over to listen to you. We've had a few Kick
What's
Kick
Kick?
chat room.
What is this Kick?
Well, yeah, what's kick?
Isn't that the people that send dick pics to one another like on
No, that's
Lonely
dick.
Friday nights?
Kick is apparently, well, from what I've understood,
It's like the new
kind
hookup
of like
thing.
it's kind of
right?
like an
Yeah.
AOL chat room,
Right.
An app.
It's like, hey, let me
We're-
see your dick. And it's
Yeah.
like, hey, here's my dick. And it's like, hey.
All right, you can find us at kick.com/the Cinescape Podcast.
Oh, our dick pics will be up by the end of the day.
It's like a private group. You can only be like invited in, and then they all just bang each other. From what I
Yo, do you want to
understand.
bang and get a Whopper?
All right.
50 McNuggets for $10? Let's go.
That's a hell of a deal, I got to say.
So sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
You know, I was
I'm telling DJ, send them all over.
I was at
Mike's trying to get banged in his kick group
Yeah.
later.
I was at Wendy's one day, and I did notice. So they have the number 10 meal is the nugget meal. It's a 10-piece nugget, fries, soda for $5.29. And then I slide over to the side menu, and they have 20 nuggets for $4.99.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just order the the 20 nuggets for $4.99
Man, I'm starving.
and then just add on the drink and the soda?
Who are these people?
Who are these people?
I don't get it.
Mandelbaum.
You bastard!
So, yeah, Mike, do you have any anticipated movies for 2000?
Yeah, what are you looking forward to next year?
There's really nothing.
There's really nothing. I got like 20 movies on my list.
I'm not a movie guy. I'm a movie guy.
All right, we need
No.
DJ in here.
No. It's not that I'm not a
Who?
movie guy. It's not. Let me retract that statement.
Where's
It's
the
not
other guy?
It's not that
Where's the new engineer starting after the new?
Anyway.
It's not that I'm not a movie guy. It's that I don't pay attention to release dates or when something's coming out because I don't go to theaters. I think in today's world, going to a theater and spending the obnoxious prices that they give you for a ticket and for concession and all this other stuff is outrageous. So I don't look.
You still pay for concessions?
You
I
can
mean,
bring your own
Yeah,
food.
you can bring your own.
Well, you're not supposed. Wait.
Well,
don't-
no, you're not.
You're not supposed.
You're
to.
not supposed
Yeah,
to.
when I
It's
saw
kind of hard to bring a burger and fries in.
No,
no,
it's
it's
not.
really not.
When I saw Winter Soldier, when I saw Man of Steel, I had a full cheesesteak from Steve Steaks in my pocket. And I sat there in the theater and I ate it and I got ketchup all over my shirt.
You should do a poll on your Facebook page. What's the craziest food item you've smuggled
Ooh, I like
into
I-
a theater?
I will tell you this.
I'm going to put that up right now.
I brought Wendy's into the Passion of the Christ
You did not.
at the United Artists Theaters.
Look, here's my thing with movies. Most of the time, the only time I go to a movie
Yeah.
theater is when I'm bringing a date.
Why?
And when you're bringing a date,
See, I don't like movies for dates. And obviously Sam and I have been together for almost 5 years, so that's okay for a date night, but early on dating, it's not good because you're saying you're going to take her out on a date to a place where you don't have to talk for 2 hours.
See, that's where everybody does it wrong, though. You do the movie first, and then you do the dinner, so you can talk about the movie at dinner.
no, I do.
Yeah, well.
I do dinner first, then we go to a movie. And if she wants concession, if she wants something to sit
She's
there
got to pay
and
for her
stuff,
damn self.
But see, I'm a huge comedy movie. Huge comedy movie guy. So for me, it's almost the same as if you took a girl to a comedy club.
Well, why don't you just take her to a comedy club?
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Bill does stand-up comedy.
Well, listen to me. I have done that. But it's that whole
You've done stand-up?
No, I haven't done fuck you. I do great at this. You put me on a stage and blah, 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 blah.
Who are these people?
No, but I've taken girls to comedy clubs, but comedy movies work also to see if they laugh, if they enjoy themselves, are they horrified? Because right away,
you can tell a lot about their personality from what they laugh at.
Like if something happens on the screen, you're like, "That's great," and you're like, and she's like, "I'm offended." You're like, "You gotta go.
Yep,
you gotta leave."
This is the first and last date here.
Exactly. But no, I do. The concession stands at movies have gotten so good that sometimes I'm kind of drawn towards it when they have like buffalo wings or a cheesesteak or all these different things.
I paid $13 the other day for Rogue One for a large soda and a small popcorn. Just saying, that's ridiculous.
It's insanely ridiculous.
Have you been to a movie tavern?
Ooh, yeah.
With the beer?
Yeah.
There's beer and a full menu.
But see, why?
And they deliver it to your
seat.
seat.
There is a button at your seat.
Why?
And you press the button and a server will bring you.
But why go to a theater in the first place? When it comes out and you're able to watch it at home, most people have a decent sound system, decent TV.
Yeah, but do you have a giant screen in your house?
If I sit close enough, I do.
Do you have a 100-foot screen in your house?
If I sit close enough,
No.
I
Yeah,
do.
but you can go and clam bake your car out and then go inside to the movies.
But
and
you
order...
can do that at home.
Oh, Billy.
No, you can't. Let me come over to your house and see what kind of type of setup you have going on.
Good enough.
Good enough?
And now that I have an Xbox One, I have a Blu-ray player.
Yeah. Yeah, but you got 4K, but you can't even watch it.
I don't have a 4K TV.
Oh.
You know what? I gotta say something about 4K. I just got a 4K TV Black Friday.
Right.
And something I've noticed about these TVs, if you're watching something that has shittily done CGI during it, these TVs will really let you know how shitty that CG work actually is.
It's because like the refresh rates on these things.
Like stuff that doesn't look good on a normal TV will look really, really bad on these new TVs. And like it kind of like some of the things that I've watched, like it really took me out of what I was actually watching because it looked even worse than maybe it would have on just a regular like an LCD or LED TV. I guess that's a blessing and a curse because these TVs make you feel like you're on set while they're filming it,
right?
Which is cool in a sense, but I'm still not used to that yet. That like panoramic kind of shooting style, more realistic. Like it doesn't look like it's a filmed thing. Like it's like you're actually there on set. So it's still taking me a little bit of time to adjust to that, but things that aren't very well done will show up tenfold with these new TVs. So I just wanted to add my little 2 cents. Mike, I just wanted to let you know that we're going to go way over time today.
Well, due to technical difficulties today, I mean.
What technical difficulties?
Oh, your computer's
technically.
crashing.
Yeah,
Things are happening.
Things are going on.
Bill just comes over and knocks over a monitor. That technical difficulty.
Unplug his monitor.
The Conjuring just knocked it over.
'Tis the season, guys.
Mike, any movies that you know of that you
name one movie you want to see next year.
I don't even know what's coming out.
Well,
Just
I live in a box.
Mike, say Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
I am. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
There you
the
go.
trailer for Groot looked really with Groot in
Little
it.
baby Groot there.
Baby Groot looked really cool.
and the emoji movie you really wanted to see.
Yeah, emoji movie.
Yeah.
No, not emoji movie.
The poop emoji is my favorite.
But no, since I did just see Guardians of the Galaxy for the first time about 2 months ago.
Whoa!
Pretty overdue there, Cinderella.
Oh, good for you.
I'm trying to think. Is there any other good upcoming movies?
Well, I have a whole list of them.
Yeah, so do I.
Bill, give me one.
Oh, there's that one. I'm sorry. There's that one. I don't even know if it's out yet. That looks pretty cool with James Franco, and he's like an internet
Oh, why
millionaire.
him?
Yeah, I think that looks fun.
You know what? I had free passes to it the other night, and I didn't go.
Did you?
Yeah.
That looks really fucking cool.
It does. Yeah, Franco, Bryan Cranston.
Oh, the new upcoming Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Yes.
War of the Planet of the
Yes.
Apes. Definitely looking forward to that.
All right, nice rebound there, Mike.
Because I started looking him up to jog my memory.
Uh,
and I don't give a shit about Logan.
Yeah. If it's on par with the first two Wolverine.
I want
solo
to see
movies.
John Wick 2.
Yep, that's on mine.
John Wick
mine as
2.
well. Just read me your full list. What do you got?
Okay.
Because I know I have a bunch.
Well, this movie,
I actually have them in chronological order,
Geostorm.
too. Geostorm?
Yeah, Gerard Butler.
Oh my God, no!
It's been shooting since 2014. They just did reshoots.
I heard about this earlier this year.
I'm curious to see how that came
It
out.
sounds so bad.
Power Rangers
Yep.
is on my list.
Uh huh.
I'm curious about this King Arthur movie, but I'm probably gonna have to pass on it.
It's got Charlie Hunnam in it from Sons of Anarchy. Not looking
new
forward to that.
Kingsman.
Yeah.
I'm ready for. Baywatch.
Yep.
Ready for. Logan's at the bottom of the list, but Thor Ragnarok. I'm ready for. We just said War for Planet of the Apes. Wonder Woman. Kong Skull Island looks really good too. We got Star Wars Episode 8. Alien Covenant.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy.
My list is very similar to yours. Mine are actually chronological order, just
Of
from the
course they
site
are.
I looked at. My OCD kicked in. I'll start off a couple January releases with Underworld Blood Wars and Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. February is John Wick 2. March we have Logan, Kong Skull Island, and Power Rangers. And then May is Guardians 2, Alien Covenant, and Baywatch. June, Wonder Woman. Looking forward to see how that whole thing unfolds there. July, Spider-Man. August, Annabelle 2. September, the new It movie comes out.
You ready for that?
If you've listened to the show since we've been on, I may or may not have mentioned my phobia of clowns, but I'll suck it up and check it out. I'll see how I do. October we have Kingsman, Thor Ragnarok November, and Star Wars Episode 8 in November. So our lists are very similar, save for a few here and there that we had a little bit different.
Mike looks like he's itching to say something.
What do you got?
One more.
What do you got, Michael?
Jumanji.
Is that on there?
Jumanji.
It does come out next year. I
Yes,
didn't
it
put
does.
it on my list.
Yes, it does. Jumanji.
I hate Kevin Hart so much.
What?
Hate him so much.
How?
He is not funny at
Get
all.
Hard was great.
No.
What was the
No.
one with him in The Rock where he was a CIA
Central
agent?
Intelligence.
That was
a
amazing.
funny movie.
I thought that was pretty
That was
good.
a funny movie.
I can't stand him.
No.
I don't understand why people think he's funny.
I think he's phenomenal. I've got him booked on your next show.
Oh.
Yeah?
All right. I mean,
great.
he is a Philly guy.
You see how quick that'd be great if he walks in the door. You see how quick Shaw changes his fucking tune. Love this guy.
My favorite actor, Kevin Hart, just came in the studio. No, he is a Philly guy, so
Yeah.
Kevin Hart here. Kevin Hart here.
I would tell
Kevin
him how
Hart.
much he sucks though if he came in.
Would you?
Yeah.
All right,
Be
I'm
like,
gonna see
dude,
if-
I don't think you're funny.
I'm gonna tweet
and
at
then
him.
he kick your ass.
Dude, he's like 3 feet tall. What are you
Kick
talking
your
about?
ass
Anybody on Twitter listening to this show right now
right
at
now.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, tweet at Kevin Hart
Tell
so he
him-
comes in.
Tell him about Cinescape.
Tell him to call in right now. 856-345-9988 is the telephone number directly into the studio. It carries over a broadband line right into the studio.
I would say tell him next time he's in Philly to stop by the studio. I think we can make it happen.
Do you think we can make it happen?
Probably not.
Mike, I was hoping for a little bit more composure there to really sell it. Really, Michael?
Absolutely.
You think we can
Isn't that
do
why we pay
You
you
think
the
we
big
can
bucks?
do it, Michael?
Absolutely.
So a couple minutes ago, I did propose the question to Twitter: what is the craziest food item that you've brought into a movie theater. I did get a reply. This comes from Claudia Amenabar at Claudia Says, and she says chicken nuggets and fries.
Were they homemade chicken nuggets and fries, or did
I
they
don't know.
come from a fast foodery of some sort?
And
And
I'm
I
not
wonder
sure.
if Claudia is watching us right now on
I
Toxic
did just
Radio.
tweet out the link to our show and told her that we were going to be mentioning her question. So hopefully she's checking us out.
And do you bring dipping sauce? Because dipping sauce can be difficult in a dark theater.
Absolutely.
You know who has top-notch quality dipping sauce containers? Bill, you should know this one. Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
Chick-fil-A, their dipping sauce containers are, absolutely.
If you were to go to Chick-fil-A, what's your favorite dipping sauce?
It's just
from there?
ketchup.
Just ketchup?
I
Really?
don't fuck around.
You don't do just
Nah, you don't
ketchup.
do
No,
just
I do
ketchup.
just ketchup.
Nugget?
Nah, what do you do,
No.
Mike?
I do just ketchup.
You do honey mustard. You do barbecue. Sometimes you switch the two around. You
Or you
smear 'em
do
up.
buffalo?
You do buffalo.
You know the new one I liked is they got that sweet and spicy sriracha.
Oh,
Have
I
you
hate-
had that? Oh, it's
I hate
Yeah, there's
sriracha.
such a
do you mean you
sriracha
hate
craze
sriracha?
going on right now.
Yeah. So, yeah. Side note that it has nothing to do with the show. Sriracha can suck my ass. Sriracha.
You know what? Why don't we put sriracha directly on your asshole, and then you can tell me how much it sucks.
Here's the thing. I'm such a sauce guy. If we went somewhere, I'd probably get every sauce that they have available, and I'd go around like the sauces and try each one. My biggest thing was that people love sriracha so much that I said I must love
Oh, boy.
sriracha.
Mike, do you remember?
Went to try
you remember
sriracha
this,
and it was
Mike?
horrible. Yes.
Mike, do you remember this?
I've eaten it. Yes.
Do you want to use it?
No, not right.
You don't want to use it
Use it on what?
on your butthole.
No. I don't know how that ties in with your year-end review of movies and Christmas.
Well, it ties in because there's some real scorchers of some movies out there.
Oh.
Yeah,
Zing.
and
Bazinga.
how we know how much this one scorches. If
Yeah, we
you've
do,
seen
we
what was
do.
it, episode 6?
Have you guys discussed Rogue One yet?
No, we haven't.
We still haven't even gotten.
I
that
know he's
point.
fucking blowing
We
this
haven't
shit.
even-
He's
we
running
have-
the bathroom and
We
stuff.
haven't
He's-
even finished
he's
the
getting
Rogue
all-
One discussion.
He's getting all bombed up and stuff.
which I have not even seen, and I don't have any.
Inkling to go see it?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's just
Why?
I don't even know what it's about. I don't know the premise.
So
I know nothing about it. And like with all Star Wars movies, I'm usually pretty psyched. I'll wait till they come and out to the point where I can watch it at home.
Right.
And I loved the last the New Hope one. Loved it.
You loved New Hope.
Loved it.
Well, that was episode 4. That
Thought it was great.
That was the first installment in the original trilogy.
Right.
So what Rogue One does is it takes place in between episode 3 and episode 4, The New Hope.
The New Hope was the one where Harrison Ford's older and that whole thing, right?
No.
No, which one was that one?
Episode 4 is the first Star Wars movie, the oldest Star Wars movie.
Star Wars.
You know Star Wars? Just Star Wars?
Well, you're confusing the hell out of me. The one I just watched, where Harrison Ford.
That was
everybody's-
episode 7.
The one
Was
where he
older.
dies?
Don't talk about episodes. Which
The,
one was the name
the
of it?
newest one before this one just came
Yeah.
out? Yeah, it was Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. I'm sorry, Force Awakens, not New Hope. I apologize. Force Awakens was fucking amazing. I thought that was great,
Yeah.
but I have no desire whatsoever to see this.
So, you know the original trilogy?
Yes.
Okay. So the new one that you just saw, Force Awakens, takes place after Return of the Jedi. and all
Right.
that
Right.
stuff,
No, I
okay?
understand that.
So Rogue One takes place before that, but in between those new
The
movies
newer
that they
ones
made.
with Jar Jar and all that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Those movies don't exist.
They,
I
for
still.
all extensive purposes, they don't exist.
I still have
Rogue One literally ends up against A New Hope. Like,
Hey, how does this
literally
one taste?
ends.
I seriously don't have any desire
No,
to see
you
it.
you do.
I will see it.
You do.
How's
But
this
there's
one
no,
taste?
like,
You just
I
don't.
it tastes
You just
good.
don't know it yet.
I just don't have any desire. Like I said, I will see it, but I'm not like biting
Yeah.
at the bit.
Claudia tweeted us back for that question on Twitter. She said, "My friend smuggled half a burger that night as well. We were seeing Pixar's Up. We didn't know about the maybe the sad part. I never saw Up. So she's got a burger. Oh, here she goes. She says, "Oh my God, y'all are talking about Rogue One now." Yes, we are talking Rogue One, Claudia. Thank you for checking us out live.
Rogue One.
Really
has
quick,
begun.
before we get into our Rogue One spoiler discussion,
We're gonna have to pay Mike overtime here.
Well, yeah, I brought extra money.
Oh, okay.
You know, he's a stickler.
He's a stickler for money. You whore!
I did want to just finish off our most anticipated list of next year. Bill, did you have any other ones that you?
No,
wanted
that
to
was
add?
it. And then Mike brought up Rogue One and totally
Yeah.
kind of ruined the transition.
What else? Where did I finish off?
Hey, you know where I'm thinking about going on vacation?
I know,
next year?
I did- never
Jurassic
mind.
World.
Yeah, you know, I finished my list. What am I talking about?
Exactly.
I'm good. So yeah, let's get into our Rogue One discussion. So I saw this separately from Bill. Usually Bill, myself, and our group of friends go to the Marvel movies or the superhero movies or whatever films that we're interested in seeing together. But with my new work schedule, I wasn't able to go Friday night with them. I had planned on going like Saturday morning or this morning, but I found the theater that I saw on Thursday night that I actually got to go to. There were 3 seats left for the 7:00 show. The seat that I picked, it was a great seat. No complaints. I got right in. Actually, I have a little gripe though. The theater wasn't cleaned.
Where'd you go?
Oxford Valley.
Okay.
The theater wasn't cleaned.
We went to Oxford Valley also. Had a smell in there,
I stood in line waiting to get into the theater for
Yeah.
about 15 minutes because they were cleaning it.
Okay.
Like for a release of a movie that big,
Right, like a premiere movie.
don't you think you would like adjust your time schedule accordingly to where you could have the theater cleaned without having people wait, and B, like, wouldn't that be a priority that maybe you would have the last showing before that theater at least like half hour or so beforehand?
Yeah.
So yeah, that pissed me off a little bit. But whatever, assigned seating, comfortable recliners, the whole 9 there.
Right.
Yeah, they've done a good job upgrading that theater.
What concessions did you purchase?
I got a small popcorn and a large
popcorn?
soda. Fucking $13.
Yeah.
I didn't sneak in a burger or chicken nuggets and fries like Claudia has.
Sounds delicious though.
Yeah, it does, and
I'm
it's
actually
making me
kinda
hungry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I didn't get to see it with you guys. You guys saw it the next night, Friday night.
Yeah.
I was texting you guys in our group message. I didn't want to spoil anything, but I had portrayed how much I loved the movie. My rating, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Spoilers, if you guys haven't seen it yet, Darth Vader lives in this movie, if you didn't know. So yeah, I'll get into what I thought about it, but I want to get, Bill, your perspective of going into the theater and checking it out and what you thought.
So as I proceeded into the theater, there were some sticky spots on the floor. So
I mean, we don't have to get too specific like that.
Well, I didn't know if I needed to start with the cleanliness. So
Somebody took a shit on the seat.
somebody shit in the theater. It was me. The movie, yeah, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Also, it really, what I liked is that it really dived into the war aspect.
Yes, this movie put the war in Star Wars.
Yeah,
It absolutely did.
And that's what I enjoyed about it. And I think the other part that I enjoy is that it was a one-off movie.
Yeah.
So that this isn't going to continue in any way. It was a nice filler piece that really,
it was a self-contained story.
Right. It made you forget about episodes 1, 2, and 3 while really just making you want to watch 4, 5, and 6 that much more again. And to focus on centrally that war aspect, that you're kind of thrusted into when you watch episode 4, and now getting that closure out of it, it was really done well. There was tons of Easter eggs, tons of fun parts in the movie. What was one of your favorite parts of the movie?
probably the final, the whole final
Vader.
act. I want to get into Vader. I want to talk
I think
about that
Vader
specifically.
Let's just talk now. About
All right,
Vader.
we'll
so,
do that
So
first.
that I feel
So-
like that was like 30 years in the making. Like you just wanted to watch Vader fucking choke force, slash people with the lightsaber, and just oh my god, that was what you wanted for the longest time.
Yeah, so I mean, Darth Vader has been one of the most iconic villains in cinema since he's been
Yeah.
introduced on the big screen, but we haven't seen him be as that menacing or that brutal in any of the films. When we saw him about halfway through the film originally, he had that conversation with director Krennic. He force choked him a little bit, and he had that quippy line, don't choke on your ambitions there. I had no problem with it. I've seen people online that are taking some exception with it and calling it corny or whatever. I found it very witty. But that last scene that we got at the very end, where they're trying to get the plans out to the Rebel fleet for the Death Star, and he's chopping his way through the Corvette to get onto it and get those plans back.
Yeah.
We see the door open, and he emerges out of the shadow, and all those fucking rebels are shitting their fucking pants. And he lifts the one guy up and holds him in the air and slices him in half while he's like stuck to the ceiling, and they're all scrambling. He's just choking them, and he's laying waste to these dudes. And it was everything that you had imagined Darth Vader could be growing up that you never got to see.
Yeah.
And in terms of, just how dark, like, I don't condone the prequels at all, but when Anakin kills all the younglings of the Jedi Temple, or
Anakin,
whatever,
you killed younglings.
or when he, or when he kills all the Sand People. We didn't. They didn't fully explore it. They didn't. But you got that kind of the sense that he's a bad dude. But when you see him in his full suit, and he's just fucking these dudes up, I didn't think you could ever cheer on a villain like, and it had like horror aspects to it too. It transcended the sci-fi fantasy genre, and that specific scene turned into a slasher film in a sense, to where you were anxious because you knew it was about to happen as soon as you saw him walk out. And even this is one thing I took away. So Gareth Edwards directed, and he also directed the last Godzilla movie. So anytime that in that Godzilla movie that he was about to start battling these other monsters, they would cut away, and you wouldn't get to see it. Like, you'd see like a little clip on the news that somebody's watching on a TV somewhere, and you're like, all right, well, he's walking out. Are they just going to like end the scene there, and you're not going to get to see what happens next?
Mm-hmm.
And then he keeps walking, and then he turns on the lightsaber, and all right, are they going to cut away here? Are they going to show what happens next? And then shit goes down, and it was just so awesome to see just how brutal. What are you laughing at?
Some Mike just put up on the Facebook feed.
Yeah, just seeing how awesome that Vader could actually be. It really had more of an impact to what was going on in the rest of the movie, because you knew what was coming next, and just how the film directly ends with the start of A New Hope.
Right.
That the scene that Vader's in, that continues the very opening scene of A New Hope, when Leia's getting the plans through R2-D2 to send them out to get to the Rebel fleet.
Beep, boop, beep.
Probably the coolest part of that, not when he even slashed the dude in half, but when the one guy was trying to get the tape through the door. It was like half cracked open, and he finally gets it through, and then you see the other side of the door when the saber comes through him, like through the door too, and like starts cutting away. You're like, oh my god, this dude is just so so brutal.
Yeah.
But it was awesome to see at the same time. So that was really the icing on the cake for that movie.
And the cool thing with what they did with Vader was I'm sure you noticed too, was how they kept to the original stock of Vader. In Episode 4, you know how the Vader costume has progressed over the time. But we saw, if you watched Episode 4 and even compared that against Return of the Jedi and stuff like that, the costume, was hindered quite a bit, due to, just quality of product at the time. So you see Vader's helmet is a little bit more matte finish, not so smooth. The eyepieces are that reddish, not
they
not
had
the,
that like
not
red
the dark
glare
black.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how the chest piece and stuff like that is, not so even and stuff like that. So they really, kept true to, some of the restraints of costume making at that time period, to really match up that continuity there as well, which was neat to see. I will say that James Earl Jones's voice as
That was the only real thing that took me out of it.
yeah.
You could tell that
it wasn't crisp. It wasn't him. It wasn't
he's
that.
aged,
Yeah.
you know,
And I mean,
yeah.
it's a nice, touching tribute. I'm glad, he didn't have more lines delivered, as necessary.
Yep.
But I do agree. It was something that it was a nice homage, but it wasn't clean. It wasn't that crisp. Yes, you could tell it was him, but that delivery, that cadence,
he sounded like winded a little bit.
And so I am glad to see that they were able to work him in there, but I'm also even more glad to see that they didn't, put him through the trouble of having to do more lines and
And
what
I
was
don't
necessary.
think that you necessarily needed Vader to be a giant part of the movie. I mean, he was in the two scenes, the one with Krennic. It set up. That was a really big character building moment for Ben Mendelsohn's director Krennic, to where you could see where his ambitions really lied. He was a go-getter. He was out to advance his own career. He wanted control of the Death Star, and he was pitted up against Moff Tarkin, or Governor Tarkin, where he still is in this movie, with the ranking. But yeah, he was dead set, pitted against Tarkin there. So he went to Vader to, try to sway his favor to, get a little bit more in with the Emperor. And Vader wasn't having any of that, because him and Tarkin are boys, really.
Yeah.
So, he force choked him out, don't choke on your ambitions, trying to tell him to be not too big for his own britches there. But yeah, that was a really big moment in Krennic's story, seeing where he was in terms of advancing his own aspirations and his own career.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like how Krennic was fleshed out. We could see his flaws throughout. His anger and his motivations kind of tempered the way that his actions played out, which was good, because we didn't need him to be another Darth Vader.
Yeah.
We didn't need him to be like an omnipresent force in the movie, where he's like, oh, this ultimate bad guy who they need to take down. He was a human who had his own flaws, his own aspirations, his own motivations for things, and he let things get in the way, and he played that very well. Ben Mendelsohn is an incredible actor, and he played that part really, really well.
It was really quite tremendous.
Yeah,
it was tremendous.
Phenomenal. So what did you think about Ben Mendelsohn's Krennic character, Bill?
Yeah, like you said, it provided that certain layer to the film. It showed a man that was desperate to be in a powerful position. Obviously seeing the way that the Empire was building itself up, and here's a man who's trying to position himself and make a name for himself within the Empire. Yeah. And only to be forced out in that corporate structure of the Empire, and to have little to no say once Governor Tarkin gets his hands on things and really makes the name for himself, and you have Vader come in and do his thing and really push him out, and obviously he goes to whatever lengths he can to save his job, his career, his name, and unfortunately he does not succeed.
Yeah. Another a big part of the film, but also not a big part of the film, was the actual rebel team.
Yeah, the CGI used there.
What I really liked about this film was that it wasn't character centric like you might have anticipated it to be, or even thought about during any of the trailers or TV spots that we've seen. Like Jyn Erso, for instance, she's the showcase of the trailers, the TV spots, all the promo material. But I didn't feel like her role in the film was actually detrimental to the plot. She served her purpose and she had her things to do in the film, but it wasn't about her. It wasn't about any of the individual team members on, our core rebel team. This movie was about the theft of the Death Star plans to get to the rebel fleet.
And that's the good part, is that this movie was a
Don't be too proud of this technological terror you've constructed.
This is a one-off movie. So the fact that so many people were gonna die, trying to get many Bothans died, trying to get these plans.
No Bothans died in this movie.
No
though.
Bothans died.
No Bothans.
But that's the thing. The fact that this is a one-off story, there didn't need to be a whole, warming up, getting to introduce characters. It was really just, this is what it was. This is how they're gonna do it, and they're dead.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Everybody dies in this movie. Everybody dies.
Everybody dies. Sometime.
I've been reading a lot of the
have you?
the canon books. Yeah, I read what was the one? I can't think of it right now, but I'm reading Life Debt right now. The newest one that came out was Catalyst, which was a tie-in to Rogue One, which goes into more backstory and depth of the characters that you do see in Rogue One. I haven't gotten to check that one out yet, but I'm very interested in doing so. But just seeing the way that, in this movie, the Rebel Alliance was not...
You may fire when ready.
They're not like the happy-go-lucky crew that you see in A New Hope or any of the the original trilogy movies. They're not like, oh, these are the good guys and they're gonna go save the day. These are, especially because you get to see more of an Imperial view of the way that things are going. They're terrorist cells. They're insurgents. They're there to cause destruction and mayhem, and they're not a fully formed a group. When we see all these different scenes on Yavin 4, which was really cool. The rebel base there that you see in the original trilogy. They're all pitted against each other. Some are unsure about going up against the Empire. Other people have their own.
Well, that kind of just shows you how the state of affairs are with
the
rebellion.
They're not fully formed. They're not like a governing body. They're not together.
Because when you think, at the end of Episode 3, Palpatine had, still had control of things, and so everyone was still unified.
It was all still new.
That. So the rebellion is even still new at that point, and even still trying to figure out what their identity is and what their cause is. Obviously they didn't really know about a Death Star and what its capabilities.
And even with Vader, most of the people that have heard about Darth Vader probably think
I never heard of him.
That he's
he?
he's just a mythical figure, because the Jedi Order at this point hasn't been around in a long time. So think of if this were real life, think of a guy who has magical powers and a sword made of laser beams that can kill you in many, many ways. You might not think that something like that is realistic or could actually happen, but you see it on the rebels' faces at the end of the movie, where they're actually seeing him, and they're knowing that he's a real, it's like the boogeyman come to life in a sense. So the whole the Rebel Alliance in this movie, isn't a full, like, a fluid thing. They're not formed very well. They're not together. They're combative with, when Jin gives her her speech to try to, go on to what's the name of the planet that they're on? Scarif?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what? No, what
And
it was?
that was another thing I was gonna say is this is probably the first Star Wars movie that we've seen so many different planets and
Yeah, we got a
being
lot.
featured. We
We
don't.
got Jeddah.
Yeah, we Edu. Edu
Yeah,
is
Edu.
actually a credit to Alien. So
Yeah, they did draw inspiration from Alien.
so
That
they
was
wanted
pretty cool.
wanted to kind of it's not something that's in a shared universe of things, but it's kind of just a little
little
this
nod.
is yeah
Nod to the nerds.
nod to the
Nerd
nerds.
nod.
But yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen more planets being featured in this movie more than any other before.
One thing I found curious was the first time that we saw Vader in his palace. That was the only planet that they didn't give a title to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
But you knew where he was.
it was
at.
very obvious that it was Mustafar from Episode 3,
Right.
to where Obi-Wan takes him out and then he becomes Vader for the first time. It was a nice, I guess, if you're a fan of the prequels, it was a nice nod to that. I mean, you have Jimmy Smits, Bail Organa. So even Episode 8, there are still, or 7, I mean, there are still small nods and references to the prequels to where it is making it feel like a fully cohesive universe. They're still acknowledging those movies.
Yeah.
Whether you like them or not, it still is good that they're doing it, because you're not just saying that those 3 movies were a complete waste of time, in a sense. But yeah, seeing Jimmy Smits, Bail Organa, seeing the younger Mon Mothma, seeing all these figureheads that are leading a new, I mean, the rebellion in a sense is a brand new thing. We can see that they're not together, they're not uniform. Some of them want to pull away and not try to fight. One guy says that they should just give up. So it was really neat and enlightening to see the beginnings of the rebellion in terms of where we see them go, and they're not when you see them on Hoth, they're a full fighting system. So it was really cool to see them all come together in that final battle to open up that shield over the planet so they can get those plans out. And even when they didn't really fully believe Jin that her dad wasn't this terrible dude and that he had the plan, like that was another really cool thing. Her dad, when he sent that message to her, he told her and whoever was watching about the flaw in the Death Star.
Yeah.
That there was that one reactor that if there was any kind of disturbance on it, that it would destroy the whole system.
Yeah.
So that gives credence, like, how did the rebels, like, if you were just watching Episode 4 for the first time, how did they defeat the Death Star? How did they know how to blow it up?
Right.
I mean, you could tell from the opening crawl that the rebels got those plans out, but how did they know precisely where to hit it and how to hit it? And he goes ad nauseum about where and when to do this, and it was a really, really cool tie-in for me to see how they got
And
this
it
knowledge.
was cool, elaborating on that fact is seeing the squadron leaders come back.
Yeah,
too,
blue leader, red leader, gold leader.
So
Yeah, it was definitely
they
really
used
cool.
CGI from the original footage.
Red leader standing by.
Gray leader standing by.
Green leader standing by.
Lock S files and attack positions.
I'm trying to play a clip here on my computer using the aux cable and it won't work.
That's the aux cable.
Will it work now? Will it? Will it work?
What do you got?
Will it work?
All wings, check in. Red 3 standing by.
There you
Red
go.
6 standing by.
Red 5 standing by.
Red button standing by. Red Fox standing by. Big Red standing by.
Red October standing by.
Helen Reddy standing by.
Simply Red standing by.
I don't think I heard that part in the movie.
Red October standing by. What was that sound
It
clip?
was Yoda.
Oh.
Yoda wasn't in this movie. But yeah, what were some of your favorite characters from this film? Like we were saying, the characters weren't really the driving engine of this film. It was more of the story and the plot.
The Asian dudes were cool.
Donnie Yen and
yeah, I mean, it was nice. It was cool to see, the blind one.
Donnie Yen.
Yeah, it was cool to see him. Obviously, he's not a trained Force master.
No, he's Force sensitive, but he's
Right.
not a Jedi.
So it was cool seeing like how even the Force sensitive, you want to call it, it was interesting because like at the end, even when he just starts plainly just walking through
nothing was
blaster fire. Yeah, but that's not necessarily the Force in a way, but it was,
isn't it?
It was almost just how naive he could also be at the same time, but just how much people thought the Force was around them. It was just the thought of the Force. And it was very cool to see the Force in that manner. Be talked about. The one thing for me though was finally we get explanation of kyber crystals.
Yeah.
And how they work.
So, Bill, what are kyber crystals?
Well, kyber crystals are basically what powers lightsabers, which is why they were harvesting them on Jeddah, which is where the Jedis were once founded. And we saw in that one scene, we saw obviously there was a remnant of a fallen Jedi with a lightsaber. In the sands on Jeddah, and the Empire was harvesting the crystals on that planet for the powering of the Death Star. So it's a trap. It's a trap. So we finally get a little bit of explanation as to what powers them, what powers the Death Star.
Yeah.
And just adds to the the foundation of the storyline here. And we know now, there are different types of kyber crystals. That's why. Most of the Sith have a red lightsaber because they were, forced to mine their crystals from a certain area. Meanwhile, that's why the Jedis are, more of a different color in nature. So
and it powered the laser cannon on the Death Star as well.
Death Star, yep.
That's no moon.
No moon. You may file when ready.
I also found it really cool. Like, this film was really about, as we said, it was about the Death Star. And I really liked how they didn't just go around and start blowing up planets right away. The first planet that they do blow up.
Yeah,
is
I
Alderaan.
will say that was cool that they didn't.
This film was about the testing of the Death
power
Star.
that they did demonstrate was, let's do some low level damage, which was still pretty.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty inflicting.
If imagine
a little test drop of the Death Star basically destroyed. Like, if you were to just target us right now in Westville, New Jersey, it would destroy like Cherry Hill, Philadelphia, and pretty much the
realistically,
tri-state
it would probably
area.
take out the whole a quarter of the planet. It really would. Like, look at the dinosaurs, but an asteroid comes and think of all the debris that are going to be up in the air and clouding the atmosphere. So while it didn't fully just go out and destroy the planet, essentially it killed that planet in that sense. So yeah, it was a testing ground for the Death Star and the cannon to be able to go out and do those things. And one of the really, I guess, sadistic way of looking at it in a cool sense is that they had no qualms in doing that. Go out and destroy the city. And they went and did it without hesitation or thinking twice about it. They destroyed Jeddah right away. And then even at the end, when they destroyed the last planet that they were on and everybody dies, they knew what they were doing. They knew that they could do it, and they wanted to see just how far they could go. And that leads directly into the original trilogy, which was just so cool to see come full circle. Ooh. I have some more cool. So yeah, at the beginning of this review, I had said that I gave this movie a 9 out of 10. Bill, where would you give this?
I'll give it a
rating?
9.
You give it a 9 as well?
Maybe like an 8.8.
Okay. Name one thing in this movie that you did not like.
One thing I did not like. I don't know. The character Cassian, I didn't really
You didn't like
I
Cassian?
didn't really care for him. I like K2SO.
Yeah.
He was funny.
He was
He was a dick.
He was a dick. He was so far removed from what you've come to expect.
You know who he
from
kind of
a
reminded me
droid in
of?
the
He
Star
kind of
Wars
reminded
universe.
me of Tars from Interstellar.
Okay.
The
yeah.
robot from there.
Yeah.
Like that dry, like dickish humor.
Yeah.
That's what he reminds me
He
of.
didn't give any shits about Jin for sure. But then he did come around at the end
Right.
towards her. And then it was, I mean, if you were of the belief that none of these characters were going to be making it out of this movie,
Yeah.
because have you ever seen them again in any other things?
I would have liked to have seen the Millennium Falcon. I would have liked to have seen.
I am really glad that they limited the characters from the other films that we did see.
I would have liked to have seen Emperor Palpatine.
I'm okay with that because, again, much like Vader, like he is a figurehead that not many people have ever seen or have really known that are actually real. So it kind of gives them that like mythological status to where, yeah, like I said, it's the boogeyman come to life. Like you've never seen this person. Like, could you imagine us having a president that you've never seen, you've never heard talk, you've never seen out in public or whatever it may be, but he is your supreme overlord ruler, and it gives it that, you know, that ambiance of something greater that you just aren't privy to.
Mm-hmm.
So I was okay with not seeing him. I really thought the CG work with Tarkin and then Leia at the very end, I thought they were really, really well done.
They were.
I've seen a lot of criticism online about how they looked. I think Leia was spot on perfect. Tarkin, you could tell that there was...
She was in Avengers. She's in a scene with Tony Stark.
Okay. I
forget
don't know
her
who the
name, though.
actress was, but you wouldn't have known different that it wasn't actually her as a 20-something-year-old girl. Tarkin, there were some times that I could, obviously tell that it was CG work, but I thought Leia was perfectly done. So especially like you were saying, for a one-off movie, I think they had a lot more freedom to tell their story without having to interconnect things and go off on tangents on different things, to where they could focus on something and have a clear picture of what they wanted to do and achieve, to where it made for a wholly better movie, in general. Any closing thoughts about this movie?
Go see it.
Go see it. Yes, absolutely. I did see that.
Now, go.
I don't know how, but Felicity Jones does have an option in her contract for a second movie appearance. Obviously, because she dies.
Probably like a flashback.
Yeah,
scene
some
or
kind of
something like
a flashback. I don't think she, connects to any other character. The only other thing that I can think of is maybe she's Rey's daughter or Rey's mother. Maybe. But other than that, I don't see why you would ever need to have her in another movie again.
Yeah.
Unless she's related to somebody else somehow. But even looking at that movie, that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know what you guys thought about Rogue One, either on our Facebook page or our Twitter page. What you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. And then this episode will be up on our YouTube channel later on tonight, so definitely feel free to leave us some comments. Share it, like it, comment on it, rate it. We'll be on iTunes as well, so you can definitely check us out. And we do have just a couple more things to go over before we get out of here. We have some Twitter questions. I know Mike is chomping at
Mike's
the bit
like,
to go
"Fuck."
home and play his Xbox. His stupid Xbox.
Yay!
You know.
Yeah, if you remember back to our prior conversations, there is only one superior gaming system.
It's Xbox.
But we did.
You son of a bitch!
No! We did get a couple Twitter questions this week, and I'm excited about some of these. So, at Story Behind Pod, the Story Behind asked, what parts of American Psycho actually happened? I know there isn't a definite answer, but I love picking it apart in my head. So, this was actually a movie that I had never seen before this person asked this question, so I did go ahead and watch it.
Sabrina,
So
don't just
specifically,
stare at it, eat it.
so I could answer this question, and I know Bill has seen it as well.
You picked up the fucking face, you piece of bitch trash!
You got one more.
Sabrina, don't just stare at it, eat it.
That's an asshole. All right, so this movie starring Christian Bale, it came out in 2000, takes place in the late 80s of Patrick Bateman, that was his name in the movie. He's a Wall Street bigwig, and he has what we take as a propensity of killing people. So we see him go through his story where he's having these flashes and urges of killing people and going through this movie. I hadn't seen this movie until this question was asked, so I did have the pre-existing question in the back of my head of what wasn't real as I was going through and watching it. And when I got spoilers, if you haven't seen this movie, I don't know, it's 16 years later, so fuck you if you haven't. But going through the part, it's probably about 90% of the movie through. Christian Bale's character is at an ATM walking down the street through New York, and he finds a little kitten on the street, and then he's at an ATM, and the ATM is telling him to feed him the cat, so he tries to shove this cat through the ATM receptacle, and then a lady says something, and he pulls out a gun. He just starts shooting people left and right. He's dodging the cops. He gets away, and the movie at that point becomes wholly unreal and unbelievable. I mean, you got different hints here and there. Maybe he's, obviously he's not fully sane because he's talking to himself. He's giving these inner monologues. But when it did get to that point, that's when, this question popped up in the back of my brain again and really made me think, this dude's not right in the head. So I would say from that point on, everything else is fully fantastical. I mean, he had his...
Do you like Huey Lewis in the news?
Yeah. He even had his core group of friends that he would hang out in, the hotel lobbies where they were still calling him Patrick. But then other people, at the end, his lawyer, when he was talking to the lawyer, he called him a different name. And, he's made him think that he's not who he actually thought he was. Mm-hmm. But his core group of buddies, the one guy is Justin Theroux. He's on The Leftovers that we had talked about before. The other guy who he has this he almost gets jerked off by in the bathroom.
Yeah.
That guy's actually in Silicon Valley. So a lot of familiar faces popping up in this movie, but they had I think that whole group of people in general were totally fictitious and in his own brain, totally made up. So definitely from, that ATM moment with the cat on, you could take that movie to be the rest of it totally nonsensical and made up. But there were definitely a lot of parts in that movie where, it could lead you to believe that this dude is just fully psychotic.
Yeah.
Bill, anything else to add for American Psycho?
No, it's a fun movie. I like it.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun one-liners there.
Did you know that Christian Bale was casted along with the director that they have, but once Lionsgate picked it up to distribute,
They wanted to
they
cut him
wanted
out.
they wanted Leo. They
Yeah.
were gonna have Leo.
I did
Leo
read that
left
the other
and
day.
did The Beach.
Yep.
And then so they brought back Christian Bale and that director there.
Right.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
who
And
knows what kind of movie we would have had with Leo? in there.
I don't think anybody can pull off that much of an asshole dick
Yeah.
scumbag dude like Christian Bale did in that movie. Yeah, so thank you for asking that question, the story behind. And we have one more Twitter question. This comes from Opinionate This, and Opinionate This asks, what makes a successful movie? Critical acclaim or box office performance? Bill, I'm going to throw this one over to you first. Is it the critical acclaim or the financial end of
That's
the
a
box
really
office?
great question. It's a tough question too because some movies may not have that initial critical acclaim, and then they go on and do really well at the box office, and then they receive that acclaim only afterwards. But then again, like we were discussing earlier, the Critics' Choice Awards were just a little over a week ago. And obviously, it's the critics that are in Hollywood that fuel, what you should see. And
Hey, we're critics too.
we are. I mean, certainly not. We're
We're
no.
not Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah,
here.
we're not Siskel and Ebert or just Ebert. But
Ebert and Roper.
Ebert and Roper.
Raper.
Whoa, look out. But the critical acclaim, sometimes that comes after a strong box office performance.
Sure. You get that like cult status of a film
Right.
after
I
the
mean,
fact.
think about Guardians of the Galaxy, for example. That certainly didn't have any initial critical acclaim, but once what it did box office wise, there was no doubt about that. It had that critical acclaimness to attribute. So I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand sometimes, but then at times, you might not get one without the other. A strong critical compliment might drive box office numbers, but at times, look at Star Trek Beyond earlier this year. A lot of critics said, hey, this was a fun joyride movie. It was nice. It was a little bit of a shake-up, but, it didn't put up the box office numbers that Paramount wanted to see. So, I mean, it in that terms of success, was it a success on paper? No, not necessarily. But was it a movie that you'd say, yeah, I'd watch this again, and I'd buy the DVD and I'd watch it when it comes on TV. Yeah, it's one of those types of movies. So, it's one of those tough questions. It's a great question.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you look at it from the converse. Look at how many of the Oscar-nominated movies that come out every year, how many of them are movies that have top-notch star quality in it, have giant budgets, or are the smaller indie-type movies where maybe you actually haven't... There's probably at least half of the movies that are nominated for Best Picture that you never even heard of.
Yeah, like honestly, I watched the Critics' Choice Awards, and you watch those, and you have a good indication of what the Golden Globes and the Oscars are going to be like. I never heard of La La Land until that night.
Mm-hmm.
I never. Hacksaw Ridge is in the mix, but there's several other movies that I'd never even heard of up until that moment. So,
Right.
when the Oscars come around in like another month or so, there's going to be. I'm going to be a little more aware now, but then there's going to be movies that it's just like, well, I haven't even watched any of these yet, and I don't even know what I should anticipate. I'm just hoping that Deadpool is a contender for an Oscar this year. I think not so much maybe Best Picture, but I could see Ryan Reynolds probably walking away with a Best Actor, and you can quote me on that right here at 3:56 on Sunday.
I'm going to go ahead
12/18.
and say that no chance in hell that happens.
Hey, well, fuck you, buddy.
No chance at all.
No chance. That's what you got.
No, but Oscar season is a really good time to get exposed to more of these smaller indie type films that are story driven and don't rely on top-notch named directors or actors. I mean, to where the focus of the movie is in the movie and the story itself, and that. And again, it depends on what your outlook is on what determines a successful movie, but whether it's a small indie movie making 5 times back its tiny budget, or something like a Transformers where you're spending $300 million on your budget and then making $1 billion back, whether the movie sucks or not. The gray area in between that term of success is so broad and vast that you can be on either side of the coin for that question or that answer. But again, that's the fun of the subjectivity of film and art in general. One man's trash is another man's
acting.
treasure. Somebody could love Transformers, whatever, and then not go see whatever movie won the Oscars last year, or vice versa, and both love both properties. So hopefully we answer your question, opinionate this. Again, it's a very tough question to answer, and there is no right answer. It's all on your opinion and your outlook of what you're looking for there. And I think that will end our show.
Mike's finally.
Yeah, Mike's
Jesus Christ,
Mike's
I gotta go home
halfway
and
out
jerk
the door.
off.
I could watch this porn in 4K. We just wanted to say thank you to you guys all year for listening to us and putting up with our bullshit.
We hope you guys have a Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas,
Happy Kwanzaa,
Happy New Year, Happy
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah, whatever you subscribe to for your religious holidays.
Festivus.
Festivus started yesterday.
Did it?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Did you air your grievances yet?
I think we missed an opportunity in doing that tonight. But maybe next year. We said earlier, we will be back after the new year. Again, we will be on Sundays, no longer Saturdays. 2:00 Eastern State Time, not Eastern State Penitentiary. And you guys can find us online at this Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, every social media site that you can imagine. Just type in The Cinescape or The Cinescape Podcast on YouTube as we are found. Definitely check out our videos on there. We're also on iTunes, on Stitcher. You can download our podcast episodes in audio form.
We're on
only.
Friendster. We're on MySpace.
I think we're about to be on Kick.
We're going to be on Kick, Mike.
Find Mike's Bang Buddies. So if you wouldn't mind, please go on to our social media. Check us out. Rate us, review us, share us, and give us your feedback and your comments. We love to hear from you guys. We love to get your Twitter questions, and we love to interact with you guys as much as we possibly can. Yeah. For myself, Sean Harrigan, for Bill Tazzi, for our great producer Mike Francolino, we just wanted to say thank you guys for listening this year, and we will see you in 2017.